Most health coaches get stuck at the starting gate when launching their business because they don't know exactly what to do. So they procrastinate or waste time on the wrong things. They spend weeks, sometimes years, tinkering with logos, buying certifications, scrolling social media for inspiration, and still don't have a single paying client. After creating my own six-figure health coaching business from scratch and having now helped many health coaches go from zero income and impact to create six and multiple six-figure health coaching practices, here's the truth. You don't need a website. You don't need a huge following. And as our six-figure health coach Connie proves, you don't even need a social media account. But you do need a proven plan, a clear, simple roadmap so you can finally start helping real people right now and stop being the best kept secret. So if you don't know how to launch your business the right way, you will waste time, money, and confidence. And worse, you'll keep that gift inside you that the world actually needs. So let's break down the exact 5 steps to start your coaching business from scratch, even if you have no experience, no list, no clue where to begin. Stop spinning your wheels and let's get you moving forward on your soul satisfying business. So as we lay out these 5 steps, I really want you to appreciate and understand how these steps solve for the biggest problems that you are experiencing in your business. So the first problem is most health coaches, as they're starting from scratch, lack confidence and clarity. They don't know who they're helping. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. And they want to help everybody with everything. And they kind of blend into the crowd. They don't stand out. And that starts to work against them. So they're timid, they're shy, they don't know what to do. And no one is attracted to that clarity. So the solution, the first step, the very first step, which everything else in your business hinges upon, is your purpose-driven expert niche. What is a purpose-driven expert niche? That is a combination of the things that light you up, that you love to do, that you would do even if they didn't pay you, and those things that you're expert at, that you have a track record. And the intersection is the sweet spot, your purpose-driven expert niche. Now, when you carve out an area that you are uniquely qualified for, not only do you have confidence, but you have clarity. You know where people suffering from that particular situation are, and you become naturally attractive. And that allows you to stand out from the crowd and do work that you absolutely love, soul satisfying work. And when you're doing work you love, that delivers excellent results because you're operating from your zone of genius. That is how you can create a six-figure business. So that very first step is to carve out a purpose-driven expert niche. So once you have your purpose-driven expert niche, the second problem that most health coaches need to solve is they don't have a repeatable process that they can walk their clients through that will deliver excellent results. So a lot of times they are serving their client with as many sessions as the person can afford. If they can afford one session, they charge them $100. Or if the person just wants 3 sessions or a session now and then wants another session 6 months later, you're not going to be able to deliver results. It's going to burn you out and it's not going to lead to great results for your clients. The solution is to create a signature program that you walk all of your clients through. Now, this is not the same thing as cookie cutter. So it is not a one size fits all, but you have a process that you customize to each individual client. You want to have a signature process that you can rely on so that you are confident when you invite someone into your program that you are going to be able to deliver excellent transformative results. When you talk about what you do, they will know your confidence. But not only that, it will work so that you will have testimonials and results that will attract more people. When you have a signature program that delivers excellent results, word gets out. One of our six-figure health coaches, Sherry, had one of her clients refer 10 more people that came to her. That is what leads to referrals and momentum. A fun fact about all of the six-figure health coaches that we've been able to co-create to this date is not one of them has paid anything in paid advertising. That's almost unheard of out in the industry. Certainly paid advertising has a place and a role, but with a process where you deliver excellent results, the heavy lifting is done for you. Rachel, who was our first six-figure health coach that we created, she had a client fly from New York to her teeny tiny town in Montana to see her. No paid advertising. That only happens if you're delivering excellent results. There's more health coaches in New York than any place else on the planet. So if you are serving people generically as a health coach, you're missing out. So you want something that people will speak about, travel for, do anything to get into your program that will deliver excellent results. All right, so once you have your purpose-driven expert niche, you have a signature program that delivers excellent results. The third problem most health coaches have is they don't have a proven client attraction system. So when it comes to client attraction and marketing, there are two key phases in marketing in your client attraction system. The first is awareness. Awareness comes in two forms, paid and organic. So paid includes paid ads like Facebook ads and Google ads. You've seen those ads, and certainly that can play a role, and that is one way to attract clients. And as I mentioned, all of our six and multiple six-figure health coaches have been able to create those six-figure practices without any paid advertising, which is almost unheard of in the industry. But paid ads is certainly one option. The other is organic. And so that is posting on social media, but there are other ways of doing that. In fact, Connie, our six-figure health coach, does not even have a social media account and reached six figures in her very first year. So awareness, let's define that. It is defined as getting in front of other people's audience. If you're relying on your own audience, it's going to be slow going. Your friends, your family, that's great. If they come to you, fantastic. But when you really want to leverage your time, it's better to get in front of a larger audience. So what does that look like? It looks like speaking in front of a group at the doctor's office or at a library or at a school or at a community or a lunch and learn for a corporation. That is getting in front of somebody else's existing audience. So you don't have to build up that audience. So that's the awareness aspect. Once people are aware of you, we want to bring them in further. They're not your client yet. Just because they know you exist doesn't mean they're your client. So we want to take the people who are aware of you and have the ones who want to become leads. So leads are people who raise their hand, they become aware of you and they raise their hand and say, hey, I've got that problem. I'm interested in that topic about gut health or Crohn's or MS or autoimmune. They say, I'm interested in that. And they lean in further and they give you their contact information in exchange for something of value. And that is how you attract clients. So we've started the conversation. These are people who want to know more. So it starts to look like a funnel. Not everybody who becomes aware of you is going to want to be a lead. And not everybody who's aware of you is going to want to get on a sales call with you and become your client. But that's the progression that you'll go through. And we've now got a client attraction system, something that you can do repeatedly. The fourth problem that we need to solve is just because we've attracted people who are interested in the topic, they are not yet paying clients. We have to have a way to have a sales conversation. And so one of the problems that we need to solve is having a diagnostic sales system. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be a diagnostic sales system, but if you're starting from scratch and you're a healer, this is how I've been able to help health coaches go from zero income, zero impact, with no experience in sales to create six and multiple six-figure practices. So lean on my experience as a doctor. Be diagnostic. Now, I'm not saying you're going to diagnose somebody's condition, but what we want to diagnose is we want to look at what is the problem that that person has. Do they have excess weight? Do they have anxiety? Do they have exhaustion? Are they not sleeping well? So we want to have a way to find out what problems does this person have? And then we want to look at how badly do they want this? How important is it? Maybe it's not important, or maybe it's not important right now. and look at some of the things that they tried, look at some of the options. I will say, by the time people are coming to you, you're their last hope. People who are wanting help with their health, the health coach is not the first person they're going to. It's the last person. They've already done all the doctors, all the diets, all the schemes. They've already done all that. They've tried the pills. And if you feel like this is within your scope of practice, that you know how to solve this problem and they have a problem and they want it solved, by all means, offer to solve it. And so that conversation that you have is really a lot easier if you have a framework and a script and a process and the details to follow. So on this channel, again, subscribe to this channel, we have a video on how to transform your sales calls and how to have those heart-centered diagnostic conversations. So when you're starting from scratch, first step is really just to get them on a call and find out more. You're not going to pitch. I tell my clients, put $1 in the swear jar every time you use the word program. People should not even know that you have a program. That's one way to not be salesy. So we focus on them. It's not about you. So have them hop on a quick call, lead with love, come from a heart of service, find out what they have going on, and then be detached from outcome. So the fifth problem most health coaches have is they don't have a business plan. So now that they have these people, these clients that have attracted, it's not part of an overall business plan, and it leads to burnout. So they're trapped in this trading time for money, and it's an honest mistake. They see everybody else doing it by charging $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,200 for 12 sessions. When you're charging for sessions, or when you're charging for your own pain and suffering. I was speaking with someone yesterday and she said, I have an hour session, but it takes me 2 or 3 hours of prep and 2 hours after. And so I really don't feel like I'm being compensated. Or they might say, hey, I did all these other degrees and I did all of this other training, so people should pay me more. And that is not how it works. And so people are not paying for your pain and suffering. They're not paying for your education. Just because I have an MD and actually a whole alphabet soup of degrees behind my name, my client is not paying me a penny more for any of that. They're paying for their results. If they can get those results better, faster, cheaper, easier, they want that. So what we want and what they want is results. So you want to have a business plan that when you implement it, it will lead to your desired destination. And although you can get started on your business without a business plan, it will either eventually lead to burnout or failure. So I remember when Karen, our six-figure health coach, came to see us, unlike most people that come across our desk, overwhelming majority, 95%, do not have a single paying client and they're just starting from scratch. Karen actually already had been earning 40,000. And some of you might be saying, oh my goodness, that would be awesome. I would love that. That's all I want. But the reason she came to see us is she said, I just can't keep slogging away. I just want to be able to go for a walk. She couldn't imagine working any harder at this. And she was going for her national board exams and she was really like working it, grinding it out. And while she was getting her natural board exams, she saw somebody else who was also from Montana, only a teeny tiny town. And this woman was earning 6 figures and she wasn't working all that hard, about 3 days a week. And she had 5 kids and she wasn't doing any paid advertising. What does she know that I don't know? What am I missing out on? And so the person she was talking to was Rachel, and Rachel was our first six-figure health coach. So that's when she joined us. And over the course of the year, she did reach 6 figures. And she said it was so awesome to see the income go up as the burnout went down. And for her, a key turnaround, the missing pieces for her. And so she wasn't coming from scratch. She was already a little bit established, but the key pieces, and where when you're building this from scratch, you're going to want to be aware of it so you don't have to make that mistake, is the business plan. really having a way to work smarter, not harder. And that's how we've been able to help these six-figure health coach moms reach six figures. It's a lot about the business plan. When you're designing that business plan, first you want to figure out what is it that you are wanting. What's your destination? And just know that it is not any harder to reach 100,000 than 50,000 when you're not trading time for money. If you're trading time for money, yes, that's twice as hard. But when you are having a business plan that delivers results and that's what you're focused on, we change that whole game. The reason this business plan got carved out is because I needed to create that out of necessity. Because when I was becoming a health coach, I had a medical practice where I was working 100 hours a week and I had four little kids. The one thing I did not have was time. And the one thing that I needed this to produce was a real business with real income and create a real impact. This wasn't a hobby. I didn't have time for a hobby. This was my escape route. This was my dream. This was my soul satisfying purpose. And so, out of necessity, and by focusing on how can I deliver the best and really caring about your clients, the outcome of that becomes a fantastic business plan. So these are going to be a little bit unique and custom depending on whether you're in person or online. I highly encourage online, but it's going to depend on, do you have a following? Almost none of my clients ever had a following. In fact, people come sometimes with following 20,000, 40,000 followers, not a single paying client. That happens all the time. So that's not it. But if you have something, we're going to leverage it. I always say, if your husband's a surgeon, we're going to leverage that. If you have 1 million followers, we're going to leverage that. But most people don't have any of those. And especially when you're starting from scratch, you don't have those, and that's okay. You don't need them, but you just need to know where you're going. So, what is the business plan? What is the destination that you want? How much do you want to earn? How many people do you want to help? And then we work back. And you want to focus on creating something that will deliver excellent results. And then what happens when they get those initial excellent results? Do you have an ascension path? Do you have a way to support those people who want ongoing support? Because the truth is, there is no finish line. There is no point in time where people go, ooh, no more health for me, no more energy for me. No, 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 I don't want any more well-being. I've had enough. That never happens. People can be, oh, I'm too fit, I'm too healthy. That day never comes. People can always get better, but whether they want to or not, that depends. And so you want to create a business plan. So just be intentional, and your business will have expenses. A lot of times people think that a coaching business, the income will just come in and they won't have to spend a penny on it. And that's not true. So we want to let go of an infantile look at business and become real CEOs, real business. So we might be starting this business from scratch, but we're starting a business, and it can be a phenomenal business. I always say, you take care of your business and your business will take care of you. But like a baby, your baby business, it requires proper care and nourishment and feeding to grow into what you dream of. So set your destination. What do you dream of for this business? And then work your way back. And I would say success leaves clues. If you can find somebody who's done and achieved what you want, then follow that recipe. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. It took me nearly a decade, cost me over 100 grand to carve out all of the pieces that allow me to fast track our coaches who are going from zero income and zero clients and walk them all the way to six and multiple six figures. You will do the same for your clients. You learned it the hard way, so you can fast track your client success. So let's piece all of these 5 pieces together. And I have a slide that will bring all of this together to show you how this all comes together. And this is what I teach. And we've actually licensed a system that goes along with it, but it is the complete six-figure health coach blueprint. And that's how you can be successful and get started right away from scratch. But at least you now know the pieces that you need so that as you're maybe embarking on trial and error, if you're just getting started and that's where you're feeling comfortable, you'll at least be trying in the right direction and not focusing energy on what we say the leaves, you're going to get to the root. So people will start to look at websites and they'll tinker with logos and those sorts of things. That is like throwing a band-aid or a pill at a symptom. Instead, what I help health coaches do is get to the root cause of the dis-ease in their business. And so we need these 5 critical pieces. And so start working on these 5 pieces because you're going to need them anyways. So let me walk you through with a nice little visual that I think will bring this all home. All right, so I teach our clients how to follow the yellow brick road. So if you want clients, that's where we're starting. We are starting from scratch. The whole point of this is to help clients and to serve clients. So if you want clients, we have to first talk to people who are not yet your clients, and those are called prospects. In order to have the prospects become your clients, you need that sales system. And in order to attract those people that you're talking to on the phone, those prospects, you have to have people that were not yet on that call, and those are called leads. In order to get those leads, you need a client attraction system that brings people who are aware of you into your system. Another way to attract clients is to have that purpose-driven expert niche that allows you to stand out. That's very client attractive. Another way to attract clients is by delivering excellent results for your clients. Remember six-figure health coach Sherry? One of her clients referred 10 more. In order to get excellent results for your clients, you need to have a signature program. And so you need to have a system for results. And in order to not burn out, you need a 6-figure business plan, or at least a business plan that delivers the results that you are looking for. And this entire thing is our complete 6-figure health coach blueprint. So these are the 5 steps: your niche, your signature program, your client attraction system, your sales system, and that business plan that allows you to create a successful, soul-satisfying health coaching business. And these are, as I say, all part of our complete 6-figure health coach blueprint. But regardless of whether you're following our system or something else, these are the pieces that you will require. The intent of this video is really to help you get your coaching business started from scratch. And it's important to see the roadmap. So that's the blueprint, the roadmap for you to get where you want to go. And of course, if you have questions, comment below. If you are looking at this system and saying, hey, this looks really good, and I am done with trial and error. I've already spent way too much on this. And if you want to book a strategy session where we can kind of look under the hood of your business, see where you're at, even if it's from scratch, and get our input on that, there should be a link below. You can always go to drshaunna.com, and we'd be happy to help you as much as possible. So ask questions below. We're happy to create content to answer those questions because we want to help more of you get your healing gifts out into the world. And of course, it starts with that very first client. So be sure to check out that next video. I'll see you over there. Be good for you.